Hello, everyone. Okay, by the picture, you know who this is. Dream, the famous YouTuber. Now, this is going to be a what if Deku had dreams power. Now, seeing we all know Dream does not have a power, it's just he plays Minecraft. So he gets basically crazycraft in creative mode. So, if you don't know what crazycraft is, think of all the entire mods you could have seen on YouTube. Doesn't matter what mod, it's in there. Whether it be Transformers, Halo, doesn't matter. It's there. So, and he has the full access to it. And, yeah. So, it is very overpowered. And, well, he's kind of like Kakashi with his face mask. He doesn't like showing his face. So, when he does get his quirk around 3 years old, no, actually, he gets it delayed to 6 years old. And in those 2 years, he did get bullied by Bakugo. Why? He still got his quirk first. And he was actually the last one to get his quirk. And after a little longer, Deku put his, mask on himself, and, everyone was curious of why. Bakugo trying to take it off sometimes. Him failing a lot. Either because Deku just runs away, dodges, or whenever Bakugo does use his quirk to get to him to take the mask off, teacher. So, yeah. And, Deku in this version knows he can be a hero and a very good one. He doesn't need All Might to wreck that whole thing. And we do skip around the start of, this is going to be an actual college, so we do skip to around 13-year-old Deku. In the time he had spent at his middle school, Bakugo was per se the king, and Bakugo and Deku did go to the same high school. Now, this is not a per se known high school or anything like that. It's not UA. You know what? It is UA, but think of UA as two schools. They have a high school version and a college version. The college version is where we all know it, where they become heroes. The high school version is just, them being allowed to train with their quirks and that, like that. Though nothing about hero work. And no UA festival or Nomu or tag or nothing like that. Him meeting some of, we all know, the classmates of Deku in the show. Him meeting Mina, Jiro, Kirishima, already knowing Bakugo, and Shoto. Momo went to a private high school with other rich kids, and, seeing this is UA, endeavored to put him in, Shoto put him in UA, and everyone else just chose this high school, and actually got accepted. Everyone else is going to different high schools that may be introduced some point in the 4 years of high school, though I'm not completely sure, seeing this is more or less me being on, thinking on the top of my head. So, yeah. Them all going up saying, hello, I'm Jiro, I'm Kirishima, and Deku saying, hello, I'm Asuka Midoriya. And with saying that, does anyone have questions for him? With someone raising their hand and asking why does he have a mask with a smiley face. Him just saying he doesn't like to show his face a lot and he's insensitive. With everyone understanding and Baku saying instead of saying, it's actually because when he just shuts up, why? Knife thrown at him. Also, if you're wondering how, what weapons and axes look like, think of a diamond axe, like a blue axe. Kind of shape. And same thing with a sword. And what gets thrown at him is a dagger. A dagger, which is having a purple glow to it. Why does it have a purple glow? Because it's made of, not lapis, amethyst. And it has some enchantments. Now, I'm not giving him, because this would be even more overpowered, and I actually want to make slightly, I know it's, slightly non-overpowered-ish. He actually has to, he has unlimited XP, yes, but he actually gets to get lucky on his enchants. And on this, and he gets enchanting, he only gets and he doesn't need lapis and all that, because, creative mode. So on this, it does have sharpness 2, unbreaking 3, and piercing 2. Now, why do I say piercing? That is a bow. Well, with the dagger, it actually makes it able to damage the armor. This is actually real, because you can actually pierce the armor. It actually makes a gash in actual skin and leads to bleeding out or wounded. So, yeah. So you do see enchants on different things. It's more or less because he's using real world tactics. Kind of like a bullet could pierce through a, wall. And what would a bullet do to a bulletproof vest? The bulletproof vest could stop it, right? Well, you add piercing to that bullet. It has a better chance of getting through that bulletproof vest. I hope that makes sense of that analogy. And in this, there is more or less a ranking. And, to the teachers, it's more like first place, though to everyone else, it's like king and, the king and the queen. And Deku, over the first 2 years, does, Baku was the number 1 for the first 2 years in their class. Because Deku was lazy, then Baku started bullying everyone because thinking they're, bad. And Deku mainly shutting them up, and everyone, going towards Deku's side. And it was more like, have the class and have the class. And, it was more a draw for the first place, or the crown. Everyone knew that, Deku was meant to be the king, though, Baku was still the king and they had to fight. And there's a tradition that teachers do. To get the crown or number 1, they have to fight the previous number 1 person. And if they fail, you're not number 1. And you only get 1 try. So you try. No. And yes, I understand I'm kind of making this stuff up, like a resemblance to actually Dream and Technoblade, because I actually want to do that stuff. And I don't own anything from them, it's just more from Minecraft, or owning the pictures. I just find it's very cool. And a very cool what if. And yeah. And as you might imagine, it's out of 10 rounds. And in the, this is the same rules as before. As if you ever saw the Dream versus Technoblade. They both get to choose one spot of their choosing and where they can fight. Deku choosing a, city. UA does have the one city ground, and or the UA high school does have one city ground to train everyone at, though it was kind of cleared out for the day, and everyone was watching on buildings, or watching on cameras. Deku winning that fight, and, if you don't know how everything else worked, or I should say how the Dream versus Technoblade, it was very close. Though in this part, if you know how Dream did lose, Baku was Dream and Deku was Technoblade, so he won. Baku getting pissed and trying to attack Deku. Deku being very tired because of all the fighting. His body still works like a human being and his quirk relies on stamina. So he has a really good endurance and stamina. And some teachers did take a note to this and do want him to go to UA college. Who this might be? Aizawa Sensei, Nezu. Though All Might does, want to ask him for the quirk. Why? Because Deku's no slouch. He's seeing he does have a quirk and can do different things. So, yeah. He also thinks of Bakugo, so they could both get stronger and either become the number 1 or number 2. And though he does remember how Baku was not per se the best, though Deku does think in his head that he does sound like about to be changed. Why? Baku has never lost, and losing is kind of like an eye-opener for him. So he realizes what he's been, aka a shit person, and slightly becomes better. Everyone still thinks of him as the Pomeranian anger face, though he's just verbal. As in, shitty nerd, icy hot, like that. Though not going as far as punching or hurting anyone. unless it's a actual test or a physical exam. Or it's just him or someone tries to fight him for his second place, which Shoto does at some point in the third year, him failing, so he's third. And who is the, I should actually say, who is the queen? It's at the moment, on the third year, Raka. Now that is not the ship. And, well, several girls do try to get her spot over the years. Them all failing except, all of them except for Jiro, because she never tried and she really didn't care about the whole, I'm the queen, respect me, peasants. Yeah, that's kind of like there. If the king and queen do say something, you do it without any hesitation. Unless it's rude or anything like that, you can do it in reasonable bounds. So they can't really say, get on your knees and bow to me and suck my feet, and kiss my feet. Yeah, no, they don't do that. It's reasonable. And also, when Deku did become king, the students did have a more positive outlook. Even in Bakugo, which Nezu was slightly shocked, because their class was more or less a big brawl. And then when Deku took over, it was calmer, not as barbaric, you could say. Though whenever Bakugo did step out of line, or even anyone from the girls' lines, yeah, Uraraka and him took them out or calmed them down, and did their, duties as you could say, president and vice president. Because how this works is, Deku is the king and the queen is kind of like, okay, think of it like this. If you were to rank, there's two separate rankings, though. The queen is second to the king, so king's the highest position you can get. Queen is second. And then it goes to the categories of boys and girls. So then it's more or less what I was just explaining. So yeah, because if it was just all together in one big row, that would have been too complicated and I would be here for longer than I want to. I have to get to school in about, not too long ago. You'll get a lot of knowledge in my what if now. Or you have enough time to know what's going on. Say I do have free time and I actually want to do something, actually good and not just play on video games. No offense. Video games are OP as hell and very, not get you bored. Yeah. And after a little longer, Deku will eventually graduate on the top. Actually, with studious-wise, he's not the, best, but not the worst. His leadership comes from being tactical and everything like that. Though compared to science, religion, math, and all that, he's really good at math, though in other things, he's not. He's average in others. I'm not making him one of the most the genius people. He can pass through tests with ease, though when it comes to exam, he is stressed out, like anyone would be. So basically what I'm saying is, study-wise, he's any one of us, in high school at least. And though he never fails a test and always passes his grades, at least over 70, which is very, good to get into UA. And when he does, graduate with everyone, as I explained before, he does put an application to go to UA. It's getting accepted immediately, though he does have to do certain things to get in, aka the UA entrance exam, saying that yes, he could be accepted for the studious side, though he also has to show how powerful he is. Though Nezu does ask to give him a recommendation, Deku saying no, he has to earn this. Also, seeing Deku as a quirk, I'm saying this now, Inko is not Fat Inko, though still the best mom, just without all the fatness on her. No offense to any fat people, I'm just saying that so you all know. Because in the regular story, if you don't know, Inko more or less was hating herself for giving Deku without a quirk, and more or less became a slump, get into a slump, and started, no offense, eating more to numb the pain. No offense. So, yeah. Though seeing that Deku has a quirk and is a very good student, she's no slouch. Actually, she has her own job. Or she is a manager of a dressing or a clothes store. Which is why Deku was always going to be the most dope-ass looking guy there. So, yeah. When he was king, he was never a slouch on the drip. So, yeah. And, well, the UA entrance exams. Deku does go there without tripping, though talking to several students that he does know that are going to UA. As we all know, and he was actually talking to Jiro, which is the ship. So don't go questioning now and saying, I want this ship and I want that ship. I usually decide the ships, though if I ever do my 100 case or my 100 special, I will actually allow you guys to choose the ship or different things. That might happen. So yeah. Now with the whole entrance exam, Deku goes in, passes the regular test, fine. No problem about that. Him getting an 88, so passing. Momo still getting that ridiculous 98. He got an 88. So yeah, everyone getting their own marks, as you might see. And, well, Deku didn't per se see all the questions that were, like the Nezu purposely made questions that were wrong, or explain that this is wrong, and, well, yeah. And he didn't find any of those, because he's, well, an average student and studious-wise. And then he does go to the whole, well, school, or the whole, well, not training area, the whole, where everyone is, where he met, well, Ida. Ida looking at Deku with a mask. Him saying that he should take that off, and it's, well, villainous. Deku was just saying, actually, him asking for a rank. Him saying he's the 20, he seemed more or less those, he's the 5th ranking. Deku saying peasant, or him just saying, okay, and I'm the king of where I'm from. So, sit down and do nothing. And with kings also looking at him. Him just thinking in his head, just saying, oh, this is going to be fun. Now, some of those kings are one of those people, and also these are also kings and queens. And yeah, kings and queens are going to be, well, not liking each other that much, and only there's going to be one king. And getting to UA, college is more or less, you are the king of all students in colleges, is what I'm basically saying. And seeing Mirio is actually the king at the moment. Why? Well, out of everyone, he's the first place. So he's king. No, he's more or less one of those chill guys. And, well, it is slightly forceful sometimes, seeing that he does need to lead an entire school student-wise. And does have to resolve some issues. Though, other than that, he still has cheerful personality and his smile. And his weird eyes. I don't know why he has weird eyes. Anyway, so yeah. Deku, well, just hearing a, alright everyone, it's time to start your exam. Saying, they also got the whole explanation of, well, 0 pointers and everything like that. Ida still said something though, Deku didn't care, and, well, Professor Mike just handled it. How do you handle it? Him saying sit down and he'll explain. Yeah. And him saying, alright everyone, get ready. In 3, or at least I should say in proper manner, as soon as those doors open, you gotta go. And in 3, 2, doors opening. Deku launching off, as well as some other kings and queens. And yeah. Now, Deku does use seeing as creative, a halo sword to use the plasma as a kind of, well, laser, like a Jedi sword. You know what? He actually makes a lightsaber. I don't know if there's a mod for this. However, we'll just say it's a double-wielding lightsaber. With a hero asking, isn't that a lightsaber from Star Wars? With Nezu saying yes, his quirk is basically creation. He can create anything he wants, and that he thinks of. Because when you really think about it, Minecraft basically has in mods everything you would need in a regular life. Kitchen utensils, everything like that. It just looks not blocky as. It actually looks like an actual, like, it doesn't look, if you saw a sword in Minecraft, like with all the blocks, kind of like with that blocky themed. No, it would actually look like a sword. And yeah. With the lightsaber, fading away out of Deku's hand, and Deku proceeding to make C4. Putting it on. well 0 pointers or 3 pointers and blowing them all up. Ice around he has 60 points, so he's well in way of getting towards the hero course. Well, some other people are being very hard on them because Deku is taking out I'm very sorry, I cannot speak. Taking out all the very high people or the very high leveled 3 pointers, yes, though he does help some people, which also helps him get to 60 points. Because whenever he was putting C4 or just using his lightsaber, he was taking out when 3 pointers that were being difficult on several people. Like what? Like Momo, Kirishima, and different people that aren't really related to the story. And yeah. And Deku is, what you might think. Getting into UA, and then the 0 pointer. Him proceeding to make a, what's it called? Also, I'm just saying this now, depending on the object size, it depends on how tiring he does get. Him making a, okay, if you've ever seen the Fallen Order of Star Wars, and in the beginning you saw that, crashed Jedi spaceship, it's that. He makes that and jumps into it. Him proceeding to use that and fly around the 0 pointer. Him using the lasers and everyone being very shocked and, people thinking that he's going to get a lot of copyrights in the near future if he becomes a hero. Because if you copy something from a certain thing, they could, take stuff off and, you have to pay because you copied something that you don't own. And I don't get that for some things. Like, what ifs? If someone has a genius idea, like, if Deku was a Mandalorian, and someone from Mandalorian sues you because you copyrighted it, and you make it a dope-ass one, very good, I don't understand it. Honestly, I don't understand. People, greed, lovely. Yeah, whatever. And I guess I'll stop talking about copyright issues because, yeah, YouTube, all that. Okay, let's continue. With them launching some rockets and blowing up the head of the 0 pointer. It falling and Deku landing, realizing there's someone that was there. Why couldn't he see her? He was in a spaceship flying around about 100 miles an hour. So I doubt he could see anything, or at least other than the 0 pointer. And he was focusing on that. With him realizing, Jiro's actually down on the rocks, or trying to use her quirk to shatter it, though being extremely tired and being in pain because her leg is still sprained. Deku, proceeding to make a jack or sludge, a jack, and breaks the stone and does get her up, putting her bridal style. Every girl that was at his school was like, lucky bitch. And yeah. Him taking her back to Recovery Girl. And yeah. With Deku just taking drinking a potion of recovery or regeneration, which kind of just heals him up. So he's back at full strength. Recovery Girl asking what that is. Him saying it's his quirk and he can make certain things. Him saying that it's a recovery potion and there's different versions. Saying that there's him making a small one, a one that's in a bottle that's capped. As we all know, it's a bottle, the water bottle of a potion, and a splash potion. Are asking what that is. Him pointing over towards a person that has a slight cut on them, where I'll just say on the leg, no on their arm, and it is bandaged. Him throwing it at their head, her saying, "Why'd you throw it?" But the guy just saying, "Who threw that?" and realizing his arm's actually healed, and him taking the bandages off. Her saying, "Oh, that's very cool." Him also explaining that there's different ones, and it's, you don't have to throw it at them, you can probably just throw it around them, and it gives a radius of, regeneration. Her asking if he can, turn back someone's age. Him saying no, and you still look 20 years old. Her saying, a gentleman I see. And Deku going off. Jiro later saying thank you on the phone, and saying that is there some way, she can repay him asking just for a bite to eat. And you pay. Her saying, okay. And, every girl in the school did have a massive crush. So, any girl with that says, do you want to, or him asking, do you want to go eat together? Girl saying, oh, most definitely. Yeah. And, after a little longer, Deku does, go out, you could say, out with Jiro, with his mom just saying it's probably another day that does go on. Him saying it's not a date, it's just, she offered me because I saved her, and yeah, Inko just saying, yeah, sure. It's totally saying that your hormones are going to kick in at some point tonight. And Deku proceeding to say whatever, and he cuz why, and blushes why, because, no offense, though, he's still a virgin. And you're still a virgin. Now, this is no offense to anyone. Him going over and to Jiro's house and picking her up. In what? In a motorcycle. Now, what kind of motorcycle? It's... You know, it's a car. It's a GTR. It's a... You know what? It's an old Nissan Skyline. So, like Paul Walker's car. Rip and chat for Paul Walker. So, yeah. And, it is green with white rims and a lovely vroom, vroom. Deku turning off the car and Jiro's father looking out, being also enthusiastic with music and cars. And Jiro got her music thing from her dad. Him looking and saying, is that a 2000 or 1999 Nissan Skyline? Dad was proceeding to say, yes, sir. And I'm asking when is she, and doing the old guy talk of, when are you going to bring my daughter back? Him saying about 11. Him saying, okay, and where are you going? Him saying a cafe and maybe to a movie. Him saying, okay, and agreeing to where Dad was taking her. Why? Because it's not per se inappropriate spots and actually very cool spots. And yeah. Him saying that he's welcome back here anytime and does say you can go. Him saying, yes, sir, or thank you, Mr. whatever Jiro's last name is. I don't know. I know it starts with a K, but I don't know what else. So, yeah. And they do have a lovely date with Deku finally having his hormones kick in and feeling that he has a crush on her. Yes, for the first time in his life, he has a crush. Hidden in his head just saying, so what is this love? What is this feeling? I feel like I'm excited all the time when I'm near her. Asking if Jiro has that exciting feeling and being tensed. Her blushing and saying, wait, you have a crush on me? Blushing and just saying, wait, do you like me? Deku realizing he likes her and just blushes and saying, yes. And Inko being right beside them in a disguise, just eating popcorn. And they're at the movies. And she's enjoying the show. Actually, she's enjoying 2 shows at once. So she thinks it's a lovely idea that she got the movie tickets. And yeah. And after a little bit, Deku just brings Jiro home and Jiro does kiss him on the cheek and just saying thank you. Him saying it's okay and let's do this again. And for the preceding 10 months, they go on dates and train together. Jiro actually getting a more physical body, so she can actually lift different things and use her quirk in cool ways. So she has her, I'd say about, her power level is around, or her power is, when the villains attack the camp in the regular MHA universe, she's at that power level. Since she does have that whole 4 years of using her quirk with the high school of MH, with the whole high school of UA. And yeah. And them both going on the first day. Or, you know what, I'm stupid. I skipped the whole 10 months. You know what, I'll just say that was when they did get it for the 2 weeks. That's when they just went on dates. And they became a couple. Deku not being scared of showing it off. him putting his arm around Jiro's shoulder and brings her in close. Jiro, blushing sometimes, is just beside him and being happy. And yeah, they do cuddle, and Deku actually got an apartment at UA, aka dorms, and he did have to buy a dorm and stay at there. It's kind of like rent. Though seeing he can make gold, iron, diamonds, emeralds, amethyst, rubies. Yeah, he's strapped with cash, though he doesn't like using his quirk to make money. Though he does it anyways because it's fine, it's very easier. And literally, how much would an ingot cost? I say that's like not 1 ton, at least 1,000 for Japan for 1 ingot. So imagine 64,000. Yeah, now you wonder how he got a nice car. He could probably buy, if he does enough, or if he does diamonds, Koenigsegg, Pagani, Ford GT, Ford Mustang. He literally could have an entire mansion to himself. Though he doesn't do it, he just does enough to pay rent and all that stuff. And he does also realize he's also getting paid for hero work, so yeah. And after they do get first day, Bakugo realizing that on Instagram Jiro and him are dating. Him just being lonely bastard, and him realizing he also has him thinking that does he like anyone, and him realizing he actually liked Ochako because she was actually pretty strong and being the queen for at least 2 years. And then being taken over for the last year by Jiro. Though both of them were sent to the hospital because Jiro wasn't letting up, and also they don't have any support here at the moment. Also, what you see in this picture is going to be what he looks like. Just imagine he can just make the sword in the background whenever he likes. And those 2 potions he has on his belt. The blue one is swiftness, and the other one is strength. So yeah. And Aizawa just look at Deku and just said it's good that some of the people that were at the UA high school are here, and says that does mean I have to say my name because I'll say UA and the high school are basically beside each other. And Aizawa does go over to the high school for some things. Why? Because they have to do some events that Aizawa does have to go to. So Deku would have known him. And probably better than most people. And just saying that instead of saying that he usually does a physical exam, though he's going to do a tournament to see who's the king. Seeing that he knows all about how you kids like to, with your whole democracy thing. And says, so there's no chaos and everyone trying to get, ordering everyone around, they're going to fix that first. Everyone understanding because Deku, really understands that. Because, Bakugo was the king, oh yeah. It was it was the nuclear strikes, everyone, saying that I'm going to shoot a nuclear bomb at you all again. And they don't want that, so, yeah. And, Bakugo saying that, end them all, going down, and Bakugo saying that he was second place, and everyone does go in lines. Why lines? Showed that, the queens were, who was the queens at their school. Because everyone that went there, some of them were actually students, but some of them were actually kings and queens. So, yeah. Though the main people were Raka, Bakugo, Deku, Momo, Jiro. Who else? Honestly, I don't know. Those are the 4. And, yeah, him not seeing that, who was there, looking at the row and just saying, alright, top people from their schools to come. And it was basically a big 4-4. Or the people that were highest in Deku winning, so Now I'll try to explain the rankings. It's Deku, Shoto, Bakugo, Kirishima, Kaminari. Yes, Kaminari was a king in his school, though he lost the fight and, got demoted. Why was he a king? Well, he was the actually only person with a, very good quirk. And it doesn't make him as stupid as you might think in this what if. So it takes him longer. He has more of an endurance. Why am I making that? Well, everyone did go to a high school, or to a high school that did allow them to use their quirks for training basis. So, yeah. Also, Kirishima does not have Red Riot, if you're all thinking that. Bako doesn't know how to do a howitzer impact, though he does know how to do an AP shot. So, yeah. And then, them going back to class and doing a regular day of school. And the next day, I'd say this is about a Friday now. They went through the whole week of learning who everyone is, like Midnight, and some of the Class 1B students, Aizawa, Nezu, and everyone. So, yeah. And then the day does come of the heroes versus villains, as Aizawa explained that there's going to be a new teacher here. And you just hear an, I am here. Him saying it's okay, saying hi, Alman, and I have to go to, do paperwork, like he said before. Him saying, okay, Aizawa, and proceeds to show everyone's, costumes, except for Deku. Everyone looked wondering why, and Deku was saying he can make his own. Proceeding to make what you see in the picture. Now, his backpack, that you all see or in the bag, it holds medical aid stuff. Seeing it's better for him to already have the stuff on him, so he doesn't have to go create stuff, and it helps him with his stamina. And in this, he more or less has like a first aid kit and several different things like, not drugs, but more or less, not drink, no, what is it? Morphine and different things. And he did research some medical grade things, so he does know. And after a little longer, he did make his whole suit. Or make the whole costume, though his backpack was really the only thing. And him making some potions, and you see on the side. And yeah. Also, he has green hair, not the blonde hair. Yeah. And everyone does look at his costume and does think that it's very dope looking. And Baku doesn't have his whole, shirtless. He actually has the full, if you saw in the new trailer for, MHA, how Baku had that new look, it's like that. So, yeah. And more time does go by of them going down and changing, or going down. And yeah. Though Mineta did get something in the head while Deku was waiting for everyone. Pervert. And we all know what, he did in the whole boys' room in the beginning of UA. So, yeah. And after all the girls wondering, because, Deku and Jiro are the first relationship. And yeah. Now everyone goes down, and All Might does explain the whole heroes versus villains test, as we all know that these are all sticks, and it was Deku, Uraraka versus Bakugo and Ida. Deku formulating a plan with Uraraka because they know each other quite well, seeing, Deku was a king for 1 year, and that she was the queen for about 1 more year when Deku did, become the king. Then it was taken over by Jiro. So, also sorry for the background noises. Yeah. Deku is more or less formalizing plans, saying that Bako would probably come out of the entrance, or come out of the area, or come out of a hallway, very surprisingly. Ochako just realizing that's true, and does say then she'll go for the bomb while you take care of the Pomeranian. him chuckling and saying okay, and goes off. And the whole scene of, instead of deku, it's Izuku. And Bakugo gets, as soon as he tries to punch Deku, Deku, jumps back and drinks a potion, which would have been swiftness, and then going to his belt and drinking the strength potion. And Bakugo is now at a disadvantage. Him proceeding to, use his explosions as, like you might see in the other stuff, as like a movement, as mobility. So he's more or less trying to dodge and wait for his effects. The effects finally running out, and Deku proceeds to, make a big A to daggers, and holding them backwards. So it's not like they're facing upwards like you would hold a sword. They're facing backwards. And Deku has been taught to use knives and sharp objects, and very pointy sticks. Yes, so, you do have, after about 10 minutes, Bakugo is laying unconscious on the floor. Deku has some cuts and bruises. Because, Deku might have a OP quirk, it doesn't, he still needs training in physical attributes. Like, you can beat it's like, Bakugo might have a, very strong quirk. Though, if he was fighting against a person, like, with reflex quirk, they could probably, notice the, explosions coming for them and dodging it. So, yeah. Deku, can, fight pretty good and slightly better than Bakugo. And, all my thing is, is saying, is that the king? And he, asking a student that's saying that, has their whole first and second people have been decided? Them saying yes, and Shoto coming up saying, I am the, what is it? What's the, second in command? The general? I think it's the general. No, it's it's general, saying he's the general and he's the king, pointing at Deku. And saying that Bakugo is the, you could say, royal guard. Because he used, king, back at, knight terms, when it was, so we have peasants, knights, general, that. And with Todoroki explaining the whole everything else of the high rankings, and then just leaving everyone else that wasn't there. And All Might realizing that everyone else was a low-ranking member. Also, I should say that All Might was was the king, and Endeavor was, general. So, yeah. And, Shoto does more or less explain that, he might be his father's son, and he has the old past about him. He does have responsibilities as the general, so he has to put those above everything. So, yeah, though he'll still be like, I'm not using my fire side because that's my dad's quirk. So, Deku has slightly gone into his head and just saying it's his quirk. So, yeah. And then now we skip back to Deku. Deku coming upstairs and realizing Ochako's fighting against Ida. Her still using that baseball technique, or improv baseball. Basically, what I mean is, there was pillars in that area, and then, which broke, because Baku did unleash the whole bomb, and Deku did dodge. And there was a big boom, which led Ochako to use that, throwing, rocks at him dodging, and then feeling a kick towards his head. Him getting in face first into a wall. Now he does get up and not wondering who that was. Him looking at Deku. Deku making a hammer. Or a sledgehammer. Proceeding to throw it at, Ida. Ida dodging to the side, and it makes a thud. Getting kind of engraved in the wall, and it just lightning out. And fading away. And yeah. Deku proceeds to make a trank gun. If you don't know what that is, think of trank dart. You would put in a, blowgun. And just a gun version. And actually hitting Bakugo and tranquilizing him. It's enough to knock him out for about 10 minutes. And Ochako puts her hand on it and goes away. And they do win, and Momo does the whole explanation of who did good, who did bad, and explains that everyone did good. It's just there was a power level difference. And yeah. And I do think that's a good spot to leave it off. So, yeah. Goodbye, everyone. I hope you all have a good day, and watch out for new episodes. And if this does become my 100 special, or I might just redo this and make it my 100 special, or not. I don't know. So, have a good day, have a good life, and wear a mask.